Thanks to ClickUp for sponsoring a portion of this video. So I've been reviewing TVs for a while, but I've also been talking about what TV that I wanted to get for an equally long time, and all the recent TV videos have just been a very thinly veiled way for me to evaluate all the sets out there to figure out what I wanted to buy. And I went back and forth for a while, and I settled on this. This is my brand new 83-inch LG G2. This is not like a press unit, this isn't a demo unit, but this is a set that I bought, put my money behind, and now I am enjoying and watching. So I want to kind of give sort of an overview as to why I chose the G2, why it worked for me, or I think it's going to continue to work for me, and some of the other tech that I was looking at and evaluating. So the G2 is replacing about a 5.5-year-old 75-inch Sony Z9D, which is an absolutely amazing TV. But I review TVs here all the time, and I kind of got big longing eyes sort of seeing all this new tech come in. Seeing QD-OLED come in, seeing the latest from mini LED, and seeing regular OLED sets come in. Probably asking why I decided to go OLED, why I didn't go QD-OLED, why I didn't go mini LED. And I'll talk about it a little bit more, but the big reason I didn't go QD-OLED is because right now it's capped at 65 inches, and I wanted a bigger set. If there was an 83 or larger QD-OLED set, I probably would have gone that way. And I came really close to mini LED. I went back and forth, but I decided to not go mini LED. As we have all these sets around here, I kept trying to calibrate mini LED to get as close to OLED as possible, and I figured if I'm trying to do that, just go for OLED. I talked to Caleb Dennison from Digital Trends. Honestly, when I do TV reviews, I'm just trying to do my best impression of him. He was pushing me really hard towards Samsung's mini LED. I had a chance to see those in person. The Best Buy I went to didn't have them in stock, so I didn't get a chance to actually see what they looked like. And his review of the LG G2, I think, pushed me over the edge. So the LG G2 is using, it's kind of tried and true OLED technology. It essentially means instead of the diodes emitting variations of red, green, or blue, like traditional OLEDs, OLEDs, hence the W, emits white light. That was actually my biggest sort of reservation about replacing my LED with an OLED for years. They just couldn't get bright enough for my living room, which is relatively bright with sort of the windows that I have in that space. But OLED sort of promised the same benefits of OLED that I love, just brighter. On top of that, it allowed me to get the size that was bigger than 65 inches. So while QD-OLED is still probably the best you can get as far as overall brightness in an OLED, right now, like I said earlier, they're capped at 65 inches. And for me, that was a deal breaker. The LG G2 offered sizes up to 97 inches, although it's like a unicorn and hard to find, and cost $25,000. You can go that big. The one that I got was not $25,000. There's various price points depending on what size you go for. Everything you need to get started is in the box, including remote and batteries, and a wall mount. What's not in the box though is a stand. And as Caleb pointed out in his review, you can buy a stand, but you have to do that separately. But it's a garbage stand, so if you're gonna get a G2, it should go on a wall. If you wanna put it on something else and stand it, the G2 is probably not gonna be right for you. So right out of the box, turning it on, and I guess up on the wall, the picture looked incredible. And I should say, and maybe foolishly, I bought the G2 without ever having seen it in person, which was probably not the smartest decision in the world. But I breathed a gigantic sigh of relief when I saw the picture. Most importantly, when I saw the brightness of that picture. I have shutters along my open window space, so I generally keep them relatively closed, but it's still bright. And I could see the picture perfectly. Brightness was not an issue for me at all with the LG G2. In case you're wondering why it can get brighter, it's got a heatsink in the back, so it can get hotter, allowing it to be a bit brighter. It was awesome. It looked absolutely incredible. I tried to do some tweaking out of the box as well with sort of my eyes to adjust the settings. I did ask Caleb what his opinion on the Apple TV calibration was, and I believe, quote, is garbage. So I opted to not even bother trying with that. What I did do though was ultimately just end up setting it for Dolby Vision, which did all the calibration for me, and it looks incredible. So watching it, especially when you have the Dolby Vision set up, it kicks brightness up really high. In fact, usually at peak brightness, and I was really concerned that it was going to kind of wash things out or blow things out. It hasn't at all. The colors to my eye look gorgeous, bright and vibrant. Now, it might not be as bright and vibrant as a QD-OLED, and that's probably true, but again, these are not side-by-side sets, so just watching it, the set just looks good. Whether you're watching a movie, a TV show, streaming, playing games, everything on it looks better, as you'd expect from a set that was almost 6 years old, but it just looks beautiful, and it looks to me like OLED should look. So if you're gonna do a deep dive, and I'm talking insane research on TVs, from panel size, prices, the technologies, pros and cons, it can be a bit daunting. I ended up with notes across 4 different apps. And that's where this video's sponsor, ClickUp, actually comes into play. So here at JFL, we have pitch meetings, we have whiteboards, we have different documents set up for scripts. It is generally an organizational mess with how many moving pieces that we have. ClickUp is coming into this whole business world. It's a sort of the notion that productivity is broken, and they are trying to solve it. And what it's doing, and doing really well, is bringing all the things that we use on a daily basis. So docs, spreadsheets, whiteboard ideas, all that stuff under one roof. So I'm not going to Google Docs for a script, and I'm going back into Trello to see what's next for our pitch meetings. Then I gotta check another app to see status on videos. Everything goes under the ClickUp umbrella in a really simple, elegant to use UI that generally makes my life and my business easier and can help us be more productive. Honestly, help us make a few more extra bucks too, so I can, pay for new TVs, and generally sort of make the business just run smoother. If you are interested and you want to join the more than 800,000 highly productive teams using ClickUp today, we'll put a link down below, but use code John Rettinger to get 15% off ClickUp's massive unlimited plan for a year, meaning you can start reclaiming your time for under $5 a month. Now, I'm not the only one who watches TV. So, my kids are home from summer. I'd be lying if I said they weren't playing some video games and watching a movie or two. And my wife, who watches TV generally with me. Nate, man, let me ask you, what do you think about our new TV?
I really like it because it's much bigger. The colors are better.
How do games look on it?
Really good.
Yeah?
I like how the TV is so big and the graphics look better than our old TV.
When you say better, what does better mean to you?
Like they look better than the last TV.
But like better how?
Because it's not so glitchy.
It's clearer, you think?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anything else?
And it's bigger.
The general consensus from them who not really into TV tech or doesn't know about TV tech was that it just looks better. The picture looked better. My wife kept saying it looks more real. I think that's a very accurate description. You don't have to know about the technology that goes into it to appreciate how it looks. And maybe it was the high refresh rate they hadn't seen before. Maybe it was the OLED tech or the true blacks. But all that together looks absolutely beautiful. I am finding myself wanting to go back and just watch things or sort of be more aware of I can watch that in Dolby Vision. We should definitely do that. I never really paid attention to any of that before with my Z9D. So that is really awesome. And again, I'm looking around here, you guys can't see it, but I've got a QD-OLED here, and there's a mini LED right there. I never saw, again, the G2 next to a mini LED. And I came away, again, very impressed with mini LED. And mini LED was probably the best choice from a budgetary standpoint and a tech standpoint, but honestly, I really just wanted OLED. We're gonna compare them all as well to see if maybe I made the wrong choice here, but I'm really happy. I don't have the LG G2 up on my wall right next to a QD-OLED, so I can't see the difference. I don't have it right up next to mini LED, so I don't notice. They all look really, really good. And it's amazing, you've got all this cool tech. And listen, if I wait a year, they're probably, at CES, I imagine we'll see larger size QD OLED sets. They're probably gonna be absolutely incredible, but I'm really happy with the LG G2. I've also been playing more games than I have in the past. It's got 4 4K HDMI 2.1 ports. That'll give you 120 hertz. I'm doing a lot of PS5 on it. It looks incredible. And I guess you'd expect it to look incredible. There's a bunch of gaming modes also built into the TV. You got Game Optimizer, FreeSync Premium, G-Sync, Auto Low Latency, VRR. It is a gaming powerhouse. One thing that I did know about the set, that if there was an issue, it would be this, is it's very reflecty. I don't know if you know what I mean. There are lights sort of behind me when I'm watching, and those definitely reflect off the TV. I've gotten used to it, but I am definitely aware of it. And if there was one other knock on the set, it would be the remote. For a TV this high-tech and awesome, I cannot understand why LG is shipping this remote that I think came out like 7 years ago. How about this? It's so old, it still has a number pad on it. If your remote has a number pad, it's time to update. It also uses sort of a Wiimote style motion, which is a bit annoying, but it works. I've connected it to an Apple TV, so I'm not really using the remote that often. I guess if there's another knock on it, I have been nuts paranoid about burn-in. And I know that that shouldn't be a concern right now. Rationally, I know it. I know there's software that's refreshing stuff and moving things. But like when my kids leave something paused, I'm like, turn that off. Don't leave it paused. Like, you know, they'll pause a game or a movie to go to the bathroom. I'm like, put on the screensaver. I probably got to get over that. And I know it's not going to burn in, but I've got that in my head. I spent a lot of money for a TV, so I need to be less crazy, I think, with it. But, you know, like most things in my life, we'll get there eventually. So despite now having settled on a TV, it does not mean our TV videos are going to stop. I don't know, perhaps I want to punish myself, but I want to see the other technologies that are out there and evaluate if I made the right choice. We're going to be getting in Sony's mini LED to check out. I still want to check out Samsung's offering from the mini LED space there. Their Q900B looks absolutely nuts and bonkers, and I want to see those in person. So there's going to be a lot more TV reviews coming up. But at least for me, sitting in my house, I love the LG G2, but I do wish they could have changed the name. I mean, the G2 was that old cell phone that came out. I don't know. There's a lot of letters in the alphabet. You had to go with the same one from a cell phone the company had. It's very confusing when you're trying to Google help to figure things out with the G2. But I love it. I'm really happy with it. I waited a really long time to get it. I wish it was less expensive. I also wish QD-OLED came in larger sizes, but I don't regret my decision at all. I love the set. I love watching the set. I got it now because I wanted it for football season, so I can't wait for that to start and watch my Rams on my beautiful 83-inch OLED TV. And it might not be the right TV for you, but for me right now, it's 100% the perfect set.